Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the show. Of course, it is season finale time, and that both means the end of some of your favorite shows and the beginnings of a whole slew
And guess
of new
what?
ones.
You can find about all of them in TV Week magazine. Coincidentally, we are joined by the editor right now, Brent Furdyk. How are you?
What a confluence.
Isn't this a coincidence?
Now, speaking of finales, more so of a career than a show, let's talk about Charlie Sheen.
Yeah,
Career
we haven't talked about Charlie Sheen with you. I sort of missed this conversation.
No, well, Charlie Sheen, I mean, what's there to say about Charlie Sheen at this point?
Highest paid guy in television.
Yeah, what was he getting? 1.8 million per episode. Yeah. When this whole thing sort of, meltdown happened and he got off the show, there was all these threats. He couldn't wait to get into court. He was going to just sue them. $100 million was he was going to sue them for. Now he's kind of changing his tune, and it's sort of...
Because he's got many alimony payments.
And meanwhile, they've kind of announced, the producers at 2.5 Men, that they're perfectly happy to go on without him.
I think that's got some precedent to it as well. I mean, shows losing one of their stars and going on and continuing.
No, look at I
fine.
Dream of Jeannie and Bewitched.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Well, there was the second Darren precedent, I guess we can cite.
I mean, every now and then, I think that show, if there's ever a show that could probably continue without somebody, it's probably that one.
Well, what I'm hearing is there's a couple of different theories bouncing around about how they're going to handle it. One is, for sure, they're going to give John Cryer a bigger part in the show. They're going to beef up his role. The kid is now like, what's he, like 20?
Yeah.
So
he's
I mean,
the new Charlie Sheen.
Sure, he can take over a bit.
But the kid and John Cryer must want to murder him because they lost their giant paychecks.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're doing all right.
I think they're a little more responsible with their money than
let's
Charlie
get on to some finales. Smallville, this is the big series finale.
Big series finale. 10 years this show has been on. And, it's been a Vancouver staple for so many years. And it's one of those shows that, if you're a comic book fan, it's just got it all. They brought all those Justice League characters, all these, but the frustrating part though is that at a certain point he's got to become Superman. I mean, you can only stretch that for so long. And I think fingers crossed, this is the finale where they're gonna the iconic Superman is going to emerge.
What amazes me with this series, not amazes me, what impresses me with this series is how consistent it's been all the way through. It's been consistently, high quality and a great show that's been really loyal to the fans, and that's very different than a lot of shows are sometimes.
It really has, especially when you consider the show is under actually some pretty enormous constraints. Because with the Superman mythos, they've got to separate it for the film and the TV, the TV series. So they kind of called it no flights, no tights. So this Clark Kent in the show, he can't fly, can't wear the costume, can't do all of the cool Superman stuff that we know. So
it's just got a lot of angst.
No flights, no tights.
That's what
that's what Mike says about his job. Let's talk about Lady Gaga presents the Monster Ball Tour.
Well, who isn't a little monster? I know I am. And, well, I mean, look, Lady Gaga is who she is. If you like her, you like her. If not, there's other things to watch. But she's doing a big extravaganza. It's a live performance. HBO's going to cover it. Yeah. She'll probably wear some kind of meat dress, or something,
Or she'll just wear jeans and a T-shirt and finally shock everyone.
Oh, that would be,
that would be stunning. No makeup, jeans, T-shirt,
But she is a spectacle, and
Yeah.
people are fascinated by her, so why not?
And she's the biggest thing in the music business right now, and you know what? She knows how to put on a show, and that's going to be on display on this special.
Okay, why not Shania Twain? And I'm separating those two things.
Yes.
Why not is the title. Shania Twain is the person.
Well, it's a reality show starring Shania Twain. And it depends on how you say it. It could be, why not? Or it could be,
why not?
And
Shania Twain in reality show, she's such a private person. I'm surprised by this. What is it about?
Well, it's a little bit all over the place. Part of it is about her emotional journey, because it is on OWN, so there's the Oprah touch.
Well, and she had that whole crazy breakup, best friend, and then married the best friend's husband. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that went on.
Yeah, there's a lot of baggage, and she's trying to work through all the emotions of this. Plus, she's trying to get her career back on track, because before this whole thing happened, she kind of had, I don't know what it was, stage fright. She couldn't really perform anymore.
Well, Mutt Lange wrote all her songs, and now he's at the
that's a bit of a problem, but she is trying to relaunch the career, and it follows her on this sort of tentative process of trying to make a comeback.
Well, everybody in Canada loves her, so I'm sure it'll do well.
She is a beloved figure, no doubt.
And it would be nice, I don't know if they do, but it would be kind of cool if they got into the sort of artistic process of being a musician and sort of that aspect of it as well as the emotional journey that Oprah loves so much.
Absolutely.
And speaking of OWN, Oprah's network, she's done a documentary on Chastity Bono becoming Chaz. Tell us about this.
Well, what's interesting about becoming Chaz is it follows the journey of Chastity as he basically is trying to, change genders.
Yeah.
And it's a real sensitive kind of look at him and his life. And Cher is in it, of course.
Yeah.
And, you kind of get a perspective of what a strange life Chaz has had.
And maybe some understanding, too, about transgenders. Having a friend who's going through it right now, I think it's something people really need to talk about and understand rather than having a freak show idea about someone who's in that position.
Absolutely. And this is the last, the last thing you could call this is a freak show. It's a very, sensitive and kind of accurate portrayal. And of course, Chaz has a girlfriend. And we also kind of look at her angst because she's gay and realizes, well, I won't have a girlfriend.
This isn't what I signed up for. Yeah.
How's that going to work?
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
And then there's an interview with Cher that's kind of interspersed throughout it. And,
because she's been vocal about having a struggle with this herself.
Absolutely. And, she does kind of outwardly try to be supportive, but you can tell she's conflicted, and it's it's very fascinating.
It's confusing for everyone.
My goodness, that's almost seems like TV is an interesting medium. What?
That's
okay,
Oprah for
let's move on to some funny stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some season finales. First of all, The Office. I missed last night's episode, but you said they wrapped up Will Ferrell's character.
Will Ferrell's 4 episodes are over. It doesn't look like he's coming back, but the season finale is coming up in a couple of weeks, and that's going to be an hour-long one. And essentially, it's going to center around the job interviews for who's going to replace Steve
Do we know
Carell's
who they're going to bring in?
This could be epic.
Well, we don't know who's going to get the job, but I mean, they've got an all-star lineup.
Yeah.
Will Arnett,
crazy,
Jim Carrey, Ricky Gervais, who's going to be playing the character he played in the British version of The Office.
Oh my God.
Who's now looking for a job.
That's
David
funny.
Brent. James Spader is going to be looking for work. So there's going to have this big, this whole parade of big name actors.
It's a good show, and this is that thing where, and I should have expected it from them, but they're almost reinvigorating the show throughout this process, and that would have been a really challenging. I mean, the day that Steve Carell announced he was gone was probably a pretty dark day, but they turned around and went,
It's no 2.5 Men, is it?
No, it's not.
Thank you so much, Brent. If
Thanks,
you
Brent.
want to find out more, you can go to TV Week magazine.
I love that magazine. It's about shy TV.
Or you can pick up TV Week magazine and find out about season finales.
Either one, there's all kinds of them, Brent. Always a pleasure. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about food, not as foodies, not as celebrity chefs, but as sustenance for our families with Miru Dalwala, co-owner of Vidges and Rangoli, right after this. Stick around.